There we go. We're recording. So welcome everybody. I think this is our second Zoom, but like our third weekly meeting because the first one was a live maybe. So I'm super excited because I really look forward to these guys, our meetings. It's like a fun time to connect and things. So we are going to be talking some about the binder tonight, but some other things came up that I wanted to offer tips and clarification on. So we're going to go over them first of all. I want to share with you guys kind of my little formula that I use if I am unhappy with the results that I'm getting. So it's a little bit of a flow chart. I've been trying to put things into flow charts for you guys. So if you're feeling frustrated with the amount of parties you have, your PRS, the recruits, your lives, whatever it might be, here's the first steps that I take. And I want you guys to write these down because you're going to use it. Anytime you feel frustrated, you're going to run through this, okay? The first thing you need to do is you need to go back and check and see what the actions were that you put in to warrant said result, right? So if you're like, man, I need some PRS, go back and look and see how many messages you've sent about that in the last week. If you're not using your task list diligently and you're not writing those names down, it's not going to be as many people as you think it is. Because what happens is we all get on Facebook and the cat video comes up and I post something and somebody posts something and la la la. Somebody's in the chat and like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden the day is gone and you haven't even sent 5 product messages, which realistically takes 5 minutes, right? So the first thing you need to do if you are unhappy with results is check the actions that you're putting in. Most likely, there's not as many actions as you think. The second thing that you can do is check your wording. So a lot of times it goes back to messaging, right? Check your wording. Is it something you got from Lash Mafia and then you're using it and making it authentic to you, right? Instead of if, say, the wording said, hey, doll, maybe you never say doll. Maybe you say babe or hey friend or whatever it might be, right? Are you making sure that you're making it authentic to you, adding emojis, sending it in a voice note, whatever it might be? So Yana and I were actually talking today, and so if I'm sending a voice note to people, I usually record one to myself first and I'll forward it out. But I record it to myself in case my finger comes off the button and I send this weird choppy half their voice note to somebody. So I just send it to myself, and I often have to get a couple done because if you're trying to get across a certain point in a message in a voice note, we're used to typing it. So when you speak it, it is different. So you have to make sure that you speak it authentically. So for me, a lot of times it's adding inflections in my voice or a laugh or a giggle or just how I am, right? Getting excited during certain points, whatever, just me. So if you have to practice sending voice notes to yourself, by all means do that. But let's get back to our flow chart. If you're unhappy with results, check your actions and then check your wording. That's a big one. Now, I don't want you guys to get stuck on trying to find the perfect wording. There is not perfect wording. There is no magical wording. I got to black status and I can confidently say everyone else got to black status without having magical wording. Yes, there's some wording that's better than others, but there's no magic wording. It's the fact that we spend a lot of our time in Messenger. If your message is like this long, right? That's not going to be a great message to send. You want to send something that's super short and use something that you can grab from Lash Mafia. There's so many examples. So I don't want you guys to get stuck on wording, but sometimes you can make it more you or more authentic or add emojis or whatever it might be. And then I want you guys to check your consistency, okay? So what I mean by this is maybe you've checked your actions and you're like, well, boom, I sent messages for the last 6 days, 5 messages a day, that's 30 messages. Why am I not green yet? Well, maybe you didn't do that the previous week or the previous week. Maybe you do this week and then no, busy, not this week, la, 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 la. You have to check your consistency because it all comes back to if you're not doing these things repetitively enough and every day and every week, you're not going to get the results that you want, okay? And then the whole big picture that you have to look at is longevity. So how long have you been doing it? Maybe you rocked your task list out last week and that's something to celebrate, but maybe you just started a task list last week. So you can't expect that there's going to be crazy results from it just last week, okay? So check actions, check wording, check your consistency, and check longevity. So this means that you're actually going to be scrolling through your messenger and you are going to be looking at yourself critically. And you're probably going to, at the first one, the checking the actions, you're going to realize you didn't send as many messages as you think you did, because that is how the whole task list, that's why I came up with the task list. And I had never heard of a task list before. I know a lot of other leaders train on them now. Maybe they had them before, but when I came up with my task list in 2015, I had never heard of a task list. And it came about because I realized I wasn't doing what I needed to on a consistent enough basis, right? And then if all of those are like perfect and you've been doing it for 2 months and every single day and your wording is on point, boom, maybe you just need to do more of it. So maybe 5 messages a day is not cutting it for where you want your results to be. Okay? So check actions, check wording, check consistency, check longevity. Do more of it is the bottom equation. Does that sound good to everybody? Now, I don't want you guys to always be thinking, okay, well, I'm going to have to send 10 messages, 20 messages, 30 messages. This, 5 hours is gone on my day. The task list should maybe take you an hour, depending on the amount of parties that you have going on and doing lives and things like that. The task list should not be taking you hours every single day. If it is, you are not sitting down and using power hours. You are overthinking messages too much. It's really easy to be like, oh my gosh, what do I send this person? She has this job and she's a real estate agent. She would never want to do this. And her makeup is fabulous. She probably would never buy Younique. And you're like sitting there like spinning yourself out about it. I know that some of you guys are like, yes, that's me, because I used to do that. So if you just get down there and you start sending the messages, it's going to be a lot faster. And something that I was talking about with somebody today as well was, maybe it's hard to do like a whole power hour during your day. That's okay. Maybe you have a 15-minute break and you do part of it. But ultimately, your task list, if you need to wake up an hour early, then wake up an hour early. Like honestly, waking up an hour early and then working throughout your day on checking groups or watching videos or replying to messages or whatever it might be, that is not very much based on the reward that we can get out of our business. So a lot of times we feel like we work all day, but it's because we're not doing the things that we need to do. It's the cat videos. I'm telling you, because they're so cute. And they're little kittens with their paws. I promise you they don't pay money. So I want you guys to focus on your task list. It should be like what you want to do, what you want to get out of the way in your day, okay? Parties. Who has parties going on right now? Okay, so if you don't have parties going on right now, that's a big issue. Either I am not being clear in how important they are, or maybe you're just scared and don't want to do them. But it all comes back to, if you want to grow your business, you have to do parties. Because, can you guys give me some, just unmute whoever wants to talk. I want examples of how you can meet people outside of parties, because there are examples. Let's pretend you're at your day job, right? So how do you meet people then? You have a day job. How do you meet people? Whoever wants to can unmute and just start talking.
Well, I don't have a day job, but the waitress last night from BP's, I messaged her a while ago about the opportunity, and then today she was like, was that you at Boston Pizza last night? I was like, yeah.
Did you meet her on social media? Is that what you mean, or no?
No, like she lives in my town, and I'm pretty sure I might have gone to school with her. I don't really remember, but
too long ago.
Okay. So you
met somebody out last night.
Like you could meet somebody like going out for dinner, the waitress or something.
Right, which is awesome because you always want to take advantage of those opportunities. So you met one person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. That's great. You should be proud of that. I'm being sincere. So she met one person when she went out last night. What are other ways that you can meet people? And you should meet people when you're out and about with your last shirt on, handing out your cards, boom, boom, boom. One eye with mascara, one eye without. You ever heard of this mascara? Whatever your deal is. So what are other ways to meet people?
Last Friday when I was going grocery shopping, I had my Younique sweater on, and I had people looking at me. I was waving, smiling. I had people coming up to me, talking to me, which had me really nervous because I've never done face-to-face. But that is one way you can meet people.
Definitely. So this is going to kind of put you on the spot, but how many of those did you get their contact info from?
Actually, none.
That's okay.
I did not get any contact info, but it was just to me, it was like good practice considering, it was face to face instead of hiding behind my phone.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, but they were really nice women. I've seen them throughout Walmarts and stuff before, so I'm pretty sure I'll run into them at the same place again.
Awesome. I like it. So you were wearing your swag and you were out meeting people. What are other ways?
Now, what happens if you're homebound, disabled, and you can't get out and about? And I literally have no friends where I live. Because I've been homebound since I've lived here.
You will do Facebook parties all the time. And that's okay. That's how I built my business. I'm actually building up to a point, and you'll see it here in just a minute. Imagine that, you guys. There's a point coming.
I meet women at the gym.
Okay, awesome. Do you talk to them? Do you add them on Facebook? What do you do?
I do. I talk to them and kind of fill them out where they're at. And I add them as a friend on Facebook immediately, right then and there. And then ask them if they would like to join my VIP group and add them there too.
Okay. You know how many you met last week at the gym?
Oh, maybe, the ones that I actually added, about 5.
Yeah.
About 5.
Awesome. Okay, so here's what I want to share from all of that. You should meet people when you're out and about because you're going to have a really good connection with them, right? And when you add them on your Facebook, you can be like, hey girl, how was your workout yesterday or whatever. Like you're already creating a really great, authentic relationship with them. But what my point is go into Walmart, go into the gym, go into the pizza place. You're meeting 1, no contact information, and maybe 5 in a week. So if you are doing Facebook parties and you can send 50 friend requests in 20 minutes and you can get 10 of them accepted, it is a lot better use of your time. Does that make sense? So I want to encourage you guys to get your mascara, doodad, sweatshirt things because you should. You should be doing that. Why not? If you're going to the gym anyway, if you're going to eat pizza anyway, why not hand out your information and get to meet people, right? But like Facebook parties and being able to meet people through them are so huge. So coming back to what I was asking, which was about the Facebook parties, if you don't have parties going on right now, then how are you meeting 10 to 20 people every single day is my question. And I don't know anybody that has done that consistently every single day. That means you're at Fred Meyer, the tanning salon, the gym, the school, every single day, adding 10 to 20 people on Facebook. If you do that every single day, I will say good job to you, but most people aren't going to do that. I don't want to do that, number 1. Number 2, it's not a good use of my time. So I want you guys doing Facebook parties. Another thing that I really want you guys to focus on is messaging guests in those parties. Who messages guests right now? Okay, and that's okay, and I'm glad you guys were honest, but it's exciting because you just found something that you can step up. Messaging the guests allows you to start creating that relationship with them, okay? And there's wording in Lash Mafia search, trying to think what to search. Pretty sure in the party wording post, there might be some in it. I know Shannon's posted a big spiel before. I think Brittany's posted a big thing. And if you just can't find something, maybe you can ask somebody to share something with you. But messaging the guests in the parties is just huge, as in kind of have to do it. It's as important as doing the party and adding the friends, okay? So does everybody commit to now messaging the guests? And it's seriously one of the best, easiest ways to start creating that relationship because, hey, I'm Julie's friend. I'm doing the makeup party for her. Thanks for being a part of it. We're really excited for you guys to see all the tips. And you can already start creating the relationship right there. So I want you to like write it down in big letters. I want you to star it, whatever, and you're going to hold it up and show me in a second. Message party guests. Is that important? I want like a giant note. Awesome. Message guests in parties. Make it so big you will like never miss it. I love it. I love it. We're going to be working on that this week. Are you guys excited? Awesome. It's like you guys already have like this in, and I promise you guys it's going to feel really good once you start doing it. Because if they're like, how do I know you? Oh girl, I'm doing the party. Like Do you lose your mind? You're not in there? Whatever it might be. All right, moving on from that. I want to share a little thing with you guys. It's probably going to make you like, for a second. It's a little bit of a sobering fact. And on average, every $500 in PRS equals 1 new presenter. So I want you guys to go to your back office. If you're on your phone, you can still do it, I believe, on Zoom. So I want you to go to your back office, and if you go under My Royalties or My Company, whichever one you want to do, scroll down until you see your lifetime personal retail sales. And you're going to take that number and you're going to divide it by 500. And that will show you how many personally enrolled that you should have. If you don't have that number, you're not doing your follow-ups very well. Obviously, we're working on that, but I just want you to realize how much potential that you have right there, because a lot of my follow-ups are people joining my team. Okay? Is everybody doing the math? If anybody has a question, you can just unmute and ask. Yes, go ahead, Sandra. Oh, you're still muted. Oh, there you are.
Hi, sorry. Where I need to look at it?
So go to your back office and go under My Royalties. And then if you scroll down, it's right here. So scroll down on the My Royalties page. So take that number and divide it by 500, and that's how many personally enrolled you should have by now. And that's why we're doing this training, because I know that a lot of people are behind on it, which means we're not doing our follow-ups. But we started last week. Everybody got caught up. And I want you guys to make sure that from this day forward, you keep your follow-ups caught up, right? It's more important to keep today going on caught up than worry about something that was 3 months ago and forget what's happening right now. So make sure your priority is the here and now, but that it's also the next priority is making sure all your other follow-ups are caught up so that you can start planting the seeds for people to join. So write that down too, you guys. Every $500 in PRS equals 1 presenter. And I found that very accurate based on people doing the task list and people doing follow-ups like iCoach. So if you just sold, say you joined last month and you sold $3,000, that equals 6 presenters, right? Well, that might have to equal out over the next month or two, right? Maybe over the summer. But for some of you guys, you've been around a while, so that should be leveled out by now.
Brennan?
Yes.
What was it now? Divide.
So take your lifetime personal retail sales.
Yep.
And divide it by 500. And that should give you on average how many new or personally enrolled presenters you should have.
Oh, okay.
And if you're welcome. If you guys are under, that's just another little tip that you're not doing your follow-ups like you need. So when I started, my sponsor told me this. And so when I had new presenters and they would get in a few months, and it was a lot easier to handle it with 20 new presenters than 190. But when they were in a couple months, I would actually go and, because I can see their lifetime retail sales under My Company, right? And I would go in and do the math. And that would let me know if we needed to talk follow-ups again, whether they were actually doing them or not. So just to give you guys a little tip, if you have some presenters on your team, and they have really high PRS and not very many recruits, means maybe it's time to have a little follow-up chat. If they don't use the information, that's not on you, but at least you can take that step. Okay, so this week we are going to be focusing on messaging and parties. And I have a lot of videos that I want you guys to watch. There's a lot of information in there that I want you guys to have. So there might be less task as in go do, but there's going to be more task as in watch videos, okay? But when you guys watch them, please comment a takeaway, take notes, like whatever it might be. If you listen on the way to work, you might listen twice so that you catch everything. A lot of top leaders in network marketing even say read books 5 times, not necessarily back to back, but you're going to pick it up again in a year or whatever, because you're going to forget information. You're going to be in a different place a year from now. Something else might stand out. You might be reminded of things, whatever it might be. So if you are kind of distracted while you're listening to a video, you might want to listen to it twice, especially if you're driving, okay? So we're going to work on messaging and parties, videos, and task lists. And we're going to do the task list 5 days this week, okay? I know each week we keep stepping it up, but 5 is the max I'm going to take you guys to. So I want you guys to look at the bottom of the task list right here in the periodic activities. There's a couple of really important things in here. Well, number one, it talks about Facebook Lives on your personal page 3 times a week. But it talks about follow-ups, catch up on task list, and get ready for the week. I'm really concerned that the bottom 2 especially aren't getting done. So I want to talk about them and share with you guys how I do it. So catch up on task lists. And I got this idea last year at convention. Imagine that. Catch up on task list means when your week is over, so whether you do this Saturday or Sunday, or you wake up at 4 a.m. Monday morning, whatever your I'm going to call it a punishment, and I'll explain why. Whatever your punishment is, if you didn't finish what you needed to on your task list, you finish it, you set aside time before you do anything fun. So whether you do anything fun over the weekend or whether you do anything fun for the week, so you catch up on it Monday morning. I don't like to catch up on last week's task list on Monday morning because I feel like I'm starting my week out behind, and it just sinks me a little bit too much. I don't like it. That's why I'm always recommending catch up on it, set aside an hour or 2 hours on Saturday or on Sunday to go back and catch up on anything that you missed, okay? Because there are going to be days that things happen and you don't get to it like you want, but you still want to get those things done. So the catching up on your task list is like your safeguard to make sure that you actually get it done. If you want to each week, so for me, our schedule's so crazy with Dustin and everything, I never ever have 1 week that's exactly the same. And I wish I did so badly because I want 9:53, I do this and da 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 da. It is not like that in our life at all. He's home, he's gone, blah, 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 blah. It's chaos, okay? So if each week you need to sit down and set up a time on the weekend that you catch up on your task list because it might be different for each weekend, go for it and do that. But I really want to make sure that you guys are taking advantage of this catch up on task list. And while it is a safeguard, it's not taking the place of doing the work through the week either. Because if you have 5 days to catch up on the weekend, it might be a lot. And then get ready for week. Do you guys want me to share with you kind of some of the things that I do to get ready for the week? Okay. So get ready for week obviously means make sure your task list is printed, make sure your binder is ready, things like that. I also will set down and schedule in when my safeguard is to get my task list caught up. I will look at anything I need to do that week. Okay, I have Zooms this day, I have lives this way, I have phone calls this day. I'm not saying day on part of those, am I? Or whatever it might be, right? You have to build those things in. But I also like to look at, okay, is there a post office day? When is my follow-up day? Which day am I washing my hair and I can do Facebook Lives? Which day am I washing my hair so I can do Zooms? Like I plan it out like that because some days I look seriously homeless. And if I'm going to be doing a training with a whole bunch of people, I prefer to do it on a day that I'm less homeless. So I plan each week like on Sunday. That's where the goals accountability sheet, you guys know that's due. That's when you want to take that, you want to look at it, you want to realize what you need to work on that maybe you didn't do great at last week. Okay. So, and that also means you can celebrate the small things too. So that's why I do the goals accountability every Sunday so that you can look at it and you can realize I did great. I need to step it up. Tuesdays are a crazy busy day for me. So instead of doing my whole task list on Tuesday, I'm going to do double on Monday or whatever it might be. Okay. I want you guys to look at all those things. And then I want to make sure you guys are using this bottom part right here. Especially these. How will I feel if I complete this task list for the week? How will I feel if I meet this week's goal? So we're like, okay, how will I feel if I complete this task list for the week? Yeah, I'm going to feel like a total boss, right? Well, that's a pretty generic statement. Be very specific. I am going to feel like I conquered my fear of messaging. I am going to feel like I'm actually moving forward in my business. I am going to feel like XYZ. I'm going to feel like I'm actually going somewhere. I'm going to feel like I can actually make pink status. Be specific and fill it out. Maybe you know that you really avoid messaging. How will I feel if I complete this task list for the week? Maybe you just get really specific about messaging or something, but I want you guys to be specific, not good, like I hustled, etc. That is not thinking it through. And when you have to think about it and then you have to write it down, I promise you it's more difficult and you're digging in deeper. And I want you guys to do that, because if you're doing this, you are the minority on this team of almost 2,800 presenters that does do this. Okay? I want you guys to hear that again. You are the minority of almost 2,800 presenters that does do the task list. That's really big. So you better be freaking celebrating, and you better be freaking excited, because you're going to be a total boss. Okay? I want you guys to start using, all right, we're moving on from the task list. Actually, we're not. No, we're not. I want to explain something. So the new presenters thing right here, I've seen a lot of people just drew lines through it. I want to explain what that means. So for new presenters, you're going to get to the point where you have so many new presenters that you forget their names, you forget what you've talked about, like it just gets crazy. So for me, I have new presenters because I want to make sure that I am talking to my new presenters, or I want to make sure that I'm giving them their next task or whatever it might be. So that's what new presenters means for me. I think a lot of people were putting a line through it because they're like, well, I didn't recruit anybody this week. That's to remind you if you need to do anything with them. And then the ad names from inbox, let's go over it again. This whole task list is like your foundation. The binder builds on your foundation. So everything that's on here, the binder complements it. So when you're talking about, I'm reading through the sheet and backwards, 5 recruiting messages. Well, the categories in the binder for the recruit messages is where you can write those names, right? But if you're on the go, I want to go over this because I've done it before. I want to go over it. If you're on the go and you're messaging these people, will you write them in your binder? Nope. Might not even remember who it was tomorrow if you've talked to 50 people today and 50 people yesterday and whatever it might be. So here's your safeguard, ad names from inbox. Every single evening, I want you to take 15 minutes, get this bad boy out, hide in your closet if you have to. Use the restroom if you have to. Like, I don't know what you got to do to get 15 minutes, but I want you to go through, check off more that you can check off, and then you're going to actually go to your Facebook Messenger inbox, and you're going to start scrolling, and you're going to find all those names of all the people you talked to that day. People that reached out to you and people you reached out to, and you're going to put them in your categories. Does that make sense? So this is literally the base, and it's all like the binder and the task list is this whole like big safeguard system so that you don't lose people. Because remember, it was, it all came about because of mistakes that I made in my business. Oh, and there's more. Comment on 15 pages. I want you guys to write that on your task list. We're going to start doing that. I know some of you guys do it every day. And these 3 lines right here that are blank are for you to fill things in. That's why I purposely left them blank. But the one I want you to add in is comment on 15 pages a day. Here's where I would recommend you start. I would recommend that you start with your categories of people that you've been messaging. So go to your binder. Go to recruits. Get your piece of paper and just start going down the list and comment on 15 people's pages. Maybe you do some from recruits, some from parties, some from products, whatever it might be. But that's another reason that I have you guys do these pages, is so that you can remember to interact on their page. Okay? So this is like your golden sheet. So one other thing that I was thinking about is a category you might want to add in of, say you have like 5 or 10 people right now that you really want on your team really, really, really badly, and it's your dream team. And that's something else we're going to talk about this week, I mean. Maybe you want that piece of paper on the front. Hi, Heather's daughter. Maybe you want those 10 names. Here, I want to show you guys. Maybe you want a piece of paper and you want to tape it on the front of your binder for the week or for the month, because you are determined to interact and message with these people more than anybody. Not messaging them about the products all the time or parties or anything like that, but maybe it's just people you really want to keep in contact with about, hey, how was your week? Comment on their pages, things like that. So that's something that we're going to start too. For me, this is slick, so you can tape things on here. I like things right in front of me. Can you tell? Like, boom, here it is, do this. Okay, what time is it? Okay, I want you guys to start using Pink Baby Group. Think of it as like your clubhouse. You guys are all besties. You're all here growing together. And I want you guys to start using the group as a place to share, hey, I did this. Hey, I did this post. Oh my gosh, I got to go send 5 messages and I'm freaking out. Somebody kicked me in the butt, like whatever it might be. Okay. So I want you guys to start using the group to share things. So important. That was a really important thing that I learned in this business is sharing, because a lot of the things that I learned were maybe from like being in one of Jen's elite chats or something like that, right? And everybody's sharing ideas and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Half of the content in Lash Mafia is not my content. Let's just say that. I get it from other Black groups that I'm in, right? Because we all share ideas. So I really want you guys to commit to start sharing ideas. And with that being said, I'm also going to start a Pink Baby chat. To get into the chat, you must message me. You must private message me. Okay? And I want you guys, anybody that's in the chat too, to share ideas as well. Like, hey, I was in a total, I think Ashley did this. Hey, I was in a funk. Here's a video I watched. I really liked it, right? Like, share those things with people, okay? Because it doesn't have to be, I'm not the only one with great ideas around here. I'm not the only one with great ideas around here. You guys have great ideas. You guys have great content. You find videos that are great. So I want you guys to start sharing those, okay? You can share if you want to celebrate something, maybe an accomplishment, things like that. Now, if somebody posts or somebody talks, can people like please reply to them? It is the most awkward thing ever when somebody posts in one of the groups, like, oh my gosh, I did something amazing, and like nobody says anything. Nobody will keep posting if that happens, I promise. It's the same for training chats. You know, when we add somebody to them and you just add them to the chat, the person that adds them doesn't welcome them. Nobody says hi. Nobody welcomes them. It's just like your new presenter is sitting there like scared, deer in the headlights. What do I do? What is this place? Am I supposed to be in here? Do I talk? Do I not respond? Do I press the little poop button in the corner? Like, I don't know what to do. So I want to encourage you guys to. So clearly all my chats have a little poop button. Not all of them, but communicate with each other. And also, this is a total side note, but in chats, when you add people, welcome them, explain what the chat is for. And then if you're on, you know, when that happens, maybe you're just like, hey girl, welcome. Like it literally, hey girl, welcome, 5 seconds. Okay. So something that you guys might want to do as well, because I was going over the goals accountability sheets and I was super, super, super proud of the task list. And that's what I'm choosing to focus on right now. I want you guys to continue submitting your goals accountability sheets, right? But a lot of the numbers are behind. What I want you to focus on is if you are doing your task list and you're gonna do it consistently, you need to keep celebrating that. And again, if it's just not giving you what you want, Maybe you do more. Maybe you set aside an hour tonight or tomorrow and you just message like crazy. Literally an hour, that's like an hour of watching a show. Well, I guess not all shows are an hour long, but you guys see what I'm saying? And in the end, you're building a business and it's going to be paying you a lot more than watching Desperate Housewives. I have something that I want to share with you guys, and I'm very confident about it and I'm very passionate about it. Those of you that I see having growth and or promotions this fall are the people that I'm confident did the task list, did the trainings, and stuck it out with me all summer. Okay? A lot of you guys are just now starting to do the task list. You're just starting to message people. You're starting the consistency. We're going to stick it out all freaking summer long. You're going to have, what is that, 4 months? May, June, July, August, whatever, 4 months under your belt. You're going to be having results during that time. Don't get me wrong. But when the fall hits and there's a product launch after convention and all that, the people that worked this summer and did this, even if you're like, oh my gosh, I sent my 5 messages, nobody responded, oh my gosh, nobody's joined, or you're just feeling down, the people that stick it out and do this every single day, all summer long, you step it up and send an extra 30 messages when you need to. Those are the people that are going to be making money, promoting, and having growth in some way this fall, okay? And I want that to be all of you guys. So I'm just asking that you just stick it out with me. Just follow the training. You might literally, a lot of people when they're introduced to this, they're like, Brennan's crazy. I didn't sign anybody up today and I did my whole task list. That's not how it works. It doesn't quite happen like that. I want to read this comment down here. I'm not sure who iPhone is. Oh, it's Crystal. I shared in my chat with my team that it's hard for me to book out a whole hour, so I split it up 5 to 2 minutes at a time. So my girls are finding that works better for them. Yes, so that's just splitting it up. And Tanis and I were talking about something today. I know life's crazy for everybody, but if you're waking up or staying up late 30 minutes extra, that's a big deal for your business. Because most likely if you're staying up late anyway, this isn't anybody, you're probably watching TV, which doesn't pay. Okay, so our focus for this week is we're going to be messaging and parties. We're going to work on a dream team list, and there's going to be a lot of videos, and I need you guys to watch the videos. It's how I learned. So sometimes it feels like when you're watching videos, you're like, oh my gosh, I should be doing something else. But the videos I'm going to be sharing are very important, and I really want you guys to watch them. And then, obviously, we're going to do the task list for 5 days. So on Sunday night, have 5 days checked off. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about or questions? And it doesn't have to be for me either. Yeah, Sandra?
Okay. I just have a question. I have a little confused. I have this task list.
Mm-hmm.
To get it done too. I mean, I've been doing this, but I know that you mentioned that I have to have a list with the juice opportunity people, another one for products, another one for new friends, and for parties. So I'm a little confused about that I need to.
Yeah. So this is the task list I'm referring to. Yours is also a task list, but it's one piece of paper per day. The reason I don't like the task list that you're using is because it has a spot on there that you write down the customers' names, right? So if you ever want to go back and find all those customers, you're literally turning a page every single time. And you're going to have 30 pages per month. So that's why I don't like that task list. You can use it if you want. So for me, instead, I use this.
Okay.
And there's not a space on here to write down the 5 people you message. So I just have a category in my binder where I add 5 names to it every single day. So if it's about products, I have a product category and I add 5 names to it every single day, or whatever amount that you're sending.
So every single day is every single paper with the new people
No.
that
No. So, I have, well, you can't see it, whatever. I have, so this is awkward and weird. I have a category right here in my binder and it says parties. And then I open it up and I have paper in here, right? Just, I have fancy ones, but I also have just this kind of paper too. And literally you add 5 names to it or whatever your number is that you're messaging a day, you add to it. And then when it's done, you flip it and you start a new page. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And so I have different categories. I have parties, products, and recruits.
Yes. Okay, but my question is, for example, I did this with an opportunity.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And I done for today, right? The next day I continue in the same page.
Yes.
Or a new one.
Yes, that's what I do. So I end up having, well, on this piece of paper, it's not the college rule. I'm going to have like 25 names on it. And then you can just keep turning it. And the reason I also want you guys to have a binder, an actual binder, is because you could open it up and you can insert more pages. And then these pages are going to be the pages that you use to comment on people's pages because you already have a list of names. If a new presenter kit comes out, you're going to go to your category that says recruits. So that's all the people you've talked to about the business. You're going to grab it. You have all the names right there. You can message them about the new presenter kit, right? For parties, we had the double party points coming out. I know you've already talked to a bunch of people in the party ones, like about parties. You're, hey girl, like we actually have double party points or whatever it might be, right? So it's a way to also just have those names and never forget those people.
Okay.
So yeah. And so that's why I don't use the sheet that you have, but I know which one you're talking about, and it's pretty and it's fun and it's fancier than mine. I totally, yes.
Okay, thank you.
But then you're just like flipping. And I find it very inefficient. What else, guys? You can just unmute and talk. I want you guys to start chatting on these so everybody can get to know each other. I used to be really scared to talk on things like this, so I also think it's good practice. If there's people like me that have like issues with public speaking.
So I have something.
Ashley!
When we did the math for the new presenters, like that makes me want to barf. I'm obviously very behind in how many presenters I should have.
So you probably have a plan of action, right?
Yeah, I need to go send like 5,000 messages tonight and
Well,
step up. Not tonight, but step up my game when it comes to
but
recruiting.
also just make sure you're offering the opportunity to all your customers.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Yeah.
So that was like an SHIT moment.
I know, but I'm glad you did the math. Thank you.
Thank you.
So question on that. I did the math on that too, and my actual number wasn't too bad, but since then I've also had 4 that have went term and 2 that are currently about to suspend. So the math on it now looks bad because I've literally just lost 6 people.
Yeah, so yeah, don't look at it that way because you will want to like barf in the corner. Only count the actual people you've signed up, no matter what they really did, whether they stayed around or not. And you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned that. So guys, be thinking of any other questions or a win that you want to share, or maybe you had something discouraging happen this week and you overcame it, or whatever. But okay, so a third of your presenters are coming, meaning they're getting ready to work their business. A third are going, and a third are working. So it's kind of a little bit of a scary thing, and I want to break it down a little bit more. But we always sign people up, and we think they're just gonna, yeah, let's do Pink Baby, it's gonna be amazing. And that's not how it happens. But that's because everyone that joined doesn't have the vision that we have. Maybe they don't want what we want, which is totally fine. But just keep in mind, this is why we always have to recruit, because people are always going to kind of be doing that shuffle. The long term, the business builders are going to start they're going to start staying, right? And you're going to start building those up. But the other people are just kind of doing this. And honestly, you're just sorting through, you're signing people up, you're sorting through, finding the serious ones, working with the serious ones. Ideally, they're staying, and the other people take your help, don't take your help. Maybe they go inactive. Okay, so that's why we always have to recruit. Always. It's just the name of the game. It shouldn't be scary. It should just be, it actually should be exciting, because everything that we're doing in this training is all going to be, I mean, we're going to be getting there to where we're talking about recruiting hardcore too, right? We're going to have a recruiting Zoom. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not friending people and you're not sending the messages, it's pointless to have a recruiting Zoom quite yet. Okay, what other questions did you guys have? Or something to share? Nobody wants to talk to me. Okay, nobody wants to talk to me.
I have one question.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know if I did that right. Okay, so I get my initial messages right. They're short, genuine, to the point. When they respond back, like say it's a recruiting message and they're interested, how do you not just like, how do you keep flowing it without word vomiting? You know what I mean? Like, how do you keep it short, go back and forth?
Yeah. So usually, especially if you're newer, it's like so exciting that somebody just replied that you just want to be like, here it all is, right? And then like 5 pages later, you've word vomited on them. So I find it most helpful to mark the message unread so that I remember to go back to it, number one, but just like to take a few minutes and think about it. Yeah. When I started, I also used to type messages to myself, like a reply. I would type a reply to them, to myself, and then I would read through it, take out anything I didn't need to shorten it down, and then copy paste and send it to them. It was a huge learning process for me. I mean, this is all literally you guys just learning your skills. So you might feel like, oh my gosh, it feels so slow. But if you can get good at it, it's going to be okay. When we do start with the recruiting stuff, I will actually be helping with responses and things like that too. But if you're wanting to be in the pink chat that I'm starting, Jenna, you can also post in there and ask people to help and reply. I found that really powerful too. So again, anybody that's going to be in the pink one, if people are asking for wording help, please share what you know. It is so freaking awkward to post in there and like nobody replies. So please, and I know like maybe you read it and you're like rushing to work and you can't reply right then. Like I get that, but there's going to be somebody that read it that can help. And you guys are all, you have something to offer. So, okay. This is why I never promise my Zooms can be short, because I just start talking and I don't stop. Speaking of word vomit, so for me, just stopping, not replying for a little bit, typing up a response before I send it has really helped me. Is that helpful? Does anybody else have anything to add to that on how you do not word vomit?
Yeah, I do. I was a huge word vomiter. And for me, what helped was the video that you sent. So I don't know if she's talking about like when you ask them if they're interested in the opportunity, then I immediately ask if they have time to watch a quick 3-minute video.
So here's the flow of how I sponsor, and this is what Yana's talking about. I'm pretty sure Tanis does this, Molly. So somebody's like, yeah, you know what? I do want more info. This is an Eric Worre method, actually. It's where I got it. Is you just respond back, super, super excited to get you info, whatever. I actually have a short 3-minute video I want you to watch. If I send it over, will you watch it? You don't send the video. You ask if they'll watch it. It's the if I, will you, right? You're saying, if I give you something, will you give me something in return? And it's powerful because if they say yes, they're committing in their mind, right? And then you send them this video. And I just use my business opportunity video. I can get that to you guys if you want. It's actually set up talking as if my team gave this to you. Like I address it in there. So that's what I do to start it all with. That's what you're talking about, right, Yana? Yeah. So
Yeah.
find out if they're interested, ask them to watch the video. Send them the video. And then they'll say, I'll watch it tomorrow. So you put their name down for tomorrow to remember to message them about watching the video. And we're going to go over all of that. That actually might be next week if I can get through enough material this week.
Hey, Brandon, can I add one thing on that?
Oh, totally.
Okay, so one thing, I always send your opportunity video, but after I send it, I always ask them when they're going to watch it, so that way I can make sure to check back in at that time.
Yes.
Like, when do you think that you can watch it? And if they say like tonight at 8, they'll make sure that I check back with them at 8 o'clock. Because then it kind of gives them that little like, oh, I have to watch it then.
So, and to add on to that, Eric Worre says, so ask them if they'll watch the video, get a yes, find out when they'll watch the video, so have them commit to a time, and then you send the video. That's really the whole spiel.
Yeah. I have been listening. I'm dealing with children.
No, you're fine. And I know you just got home, too, from Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.